What's up, Trios Tribe? Bringing you guys a tournament report. Once again, our first BT16 North American event. I'm pretty sure Oceania got it first, so this is second. I really don't know how to. It was like the same day, man. It's not a really big deal. Anyway, Play TCG hosted their online regionals over the past weekend, and here's the top 16 list, and here's me yapping about it. The pie chart's not looking too great this time. I still think. All right, so like I feel like these are a few talking points. All right, like look, cat's out of the bag. We got 8 Numemon in our top 16, 3 Yellow Vaccine, 2 Mirage, 1 Blue Flare, 1 Ulforce, 1 Magnamon X. So it just runs up to a total of 6 decks in our top 16, which is pretty close to technically. Like I think like where do we set the line? Like how many decks is too little? And how many decks is too many? You know, because I feel like there is such a thing as too many good decks, but maybe that's crazy. 6 is probably too low to say it's healthy, but it's not bad. No, I don't think we're tier 0 yet. But the other talking point here is like, why did Numemon do so well? I still think Numemon's a great deck, right? And the rise of the Ukomon tyranny, supposed tyranny, I'm still in the camp that it's not that bad, but Numemon is one of the decks that can implore Ukomon the best, and the North American format was able to take advantage of it much more so than Oceania did. And however, I also feel like there was a lot of weight. Like a one talking point that we kind of go over is there's a lot of weight on Magnamon X and how good that deck is, or how good that card is, and the decks that can run it. And Numemon is just a really good counter to that, and I feel like in terms of a meta perspective, people kind of backed away in how important the Numemon matchup was going to be and tried to make sure their Magnamon X matchup was good. So it probably set the stage for Numemon to do as well as it did. And then like I guess like a third talking point, if there is a third talking point, would probably have to be that like, I mean, you got players here like Tyler and Huang Zero taking the whole event, by the way. Crazy about the round change rule change. I really don't want to get into that here, but this happened, and luckily congrats on topping, man. But yeah, or congrats on winning, not even topping. But like Numemon's a deck that had to be practiced. You have to learn the lines, and these are players that are good, and they've been playing Numemon. Tyler Sear's been playing Numemon. I'm sure some of these other players have been on the Numemon. I recognize some of the names. I feel maybe I'm crazy when I say that. However, Numemon's a practice deck. A lot of these other decks aren't as practiced for a lot of people. Magnamon X, especially how to properly tech around the format. I feel like a Magnamon X list that could properly tech around Numemon could do a lot better than it did. Stuff like that, just little things like that I feel like would have gone a long way. I've gone a long way to create this stage for Numemon to dominate as well as it did in our top 16. Or maybe I'm full of it. Maybe Numemon's just best deck. Maybe we need to ban BT16 Uko. I don't think so, not yet. I'm not gonna be convinced just yet. It's too soon to start making calls like that. Congrats to everyone competed. Let's go into the list. You guys know how I do it. I try to give everybody their time. It's gonna be a little different now because we are using the Eggman event site. Oh, my Zoom is wrong. No, that's so unfortunate. Anyway. Here, I believe this again, it's gonna be a little weird. This is Charles's Magnamon X, Vmon Blue Magnamon X build. He was the only Magnamon X to be able to top this tournament, and notably playing a lot of Magnamons. I think the list is correct. Did I get something wrong here? I hope not. Yeah. Again, I'm proven wrong. Shu Yulin is a mainstay in the deck. So far every Magnamon or blue base Magnamon X build has been on Shu Yulin, so Risu's wrong again. Imagine that. But here we're seeing a use of Awakening of the Golden Knight and Heaven's Judgment. I shouldn't be surprised by that. But Awakening of the Golden Knight feels like a card that it feels good, especially since you're not on. I guess it's mandatory in a list where you're not on as many level 5s as maybe other lists are. That's why we see the heavy Zudomon ace. We see the rookie lineup is very interesting. We're on 12 rookies. 4 of the new blue-red one, 4 of the promo, just because it just makes things so cheap. We're on 4 Davis, not playing the memory setter Davis, I guess because we have Shu Yulin. Makes sense to me anyway. And then 3 Final Zubicon Punch. I'm still in a world where I believe we're going to see a world where the blue base Magnamon builds are going to be able to start tacking in things like Kongu and things like Breath of the Gods, and we're going to see more of that creep up. And when we do, we might see more representation of blue-based Magnamon X, and then a downturn of Numemon, because Numemon, like Kongu, kind of hurts Numemon a lot. They just can't go for that big spread turn and just attack with a bunch of little things. The Magnamon X, I believe the Magnamon still get through, but you know how it is. But yeah, Magnamon X, you're the one of. Congrats. We'll go to the next list. Oh, my zooms are all messed up. That's so sad. I'll make them bigger, I promise. Mirage. I think we have 2 Mirages. This is this is 16th place Steven's list. You know, I really thought when Mirage was going to go into this format, we would completely be gone of Betamon as the rookie, or maybe even just get rid of Bukomon, but no, we've decided to just, every version of jamming is worth it in the deck. We see the return of the Gaomon Searcher that trashes a couple cards, and the return of this card makes sense just because Leviamon being out of the format, not setting up your opponent, the trash for your opponent is just good. It's good that we don't have to worry about that as much. The champion lineup I find is pretty interesting. We got Gaogamon, we got the one that bounces level 3s from EX4, and then we have the jamming one that just came out in BT16. And we're not seeing any of the one that plays Tamers, which I believe was the BT13 one. Not seeing that in this list is interesting. Of course, we're seeing 4 of the BT13 MirageGaogamon. It's the answer. It allows us to just sidestep any fancy Magnamon X stuff, Numemon blocking shenanigans, any kind of redirection at all. We can just, with jamming, we just see through it all, and it's not a big deal. Another interesting note here is we got the Full Metal Blaze. MirageGaogamon is a deck that's just going to put cards in your opponent's hand, and you're always going to get this secondary effect. Then, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand, return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon to the bottom of the deck. But you always bounce 2 of their level 4 or lower Digimons. So it becomes kind of funny because level 5s dodge this effect really hard. But if you can board clear well enough, you kind of get a lot of good board clear off this guy, especially if they only have 1 level 5, then you can be here, bounce to level 5. There's just like a good variety in Mirage. There's a lot of good utility toolboxy removal stuff, and then we see the Amphimon Ace makes its return. I think we saw one in Oceania as well, and it's just interesting that this card is just becoming a staple card that we need to be worried about in going into a Mirage matchup, for example. We have one more Mirage lined up, and it's Joseph. I'm not saying that last name. I'm not saying anyone's last name. And we're going on, just similar, way more Betamons, and we're going full in on just every version of jamming, 4-4-1, maximum copies possible, more Lanamons than our previous deck list. And I mean, it's still notably not playing the Tamer setting. Tamer setting. The level 4 Gaogamon that plays Tamers when Digivolving, or plays Thomason specifically when Digivolving. And then the keynote here is we're actually playing the BT4, just a card that like we see crop up here and there in Mirage. It kind of acts as a pseudo BT11 one. BT11 Mirage is still just kind of seen as the best Mirage level 6 to keep playing, and this one kind of is like a pseudo secondary MirageGaogamon, and it's kind of even have more relevance now because it just has an ambient your turn. This Digimon is unblockable. It just can't be blocked, right? So you don't need to be tricky. You don't need, it reduces the reliance on the level 5 constantly, and it allows you to have a less optimal stack, maybe a Zudomon Ace stack, for example, and still maintain unblockable multiple swings with burst mode. Or I guess you wouldn't be able to swing multiple times with burst mode, but it's a trick. It can get through, and it could see something through without your opponent expecting it, really. Congrats, this was Joseph. Once again, this was Joseph, 11th place. All four, yes, this is Ulforce. Yes, it's a little confusing with all the Vmons running around, but this is Ulforce. This is Martin Lee's Ulforce list. I think this sent a lot of waves through the community when we heard about the Inklings, or we heard Inklings that an Ulforce had topped. There's a lot of Ulforce fans, and I've gotten in trouble by these Ulforce fans before by saying that Ulforce is just worse Mirage. I mean, it's still kind of true, but seeing it top, I'm very happy for the, like, inspiring, like, I'm sure you're inspiring a ton of, like, you know, Ulforce stands to play the deck, pick up the deck again, because it does have a chance. And I think the things that still hold it back are still kind of the same things as always. It's just Mirage, but with more steps. It feels like you have to have these tamers to generate value, and you don't always have, like, the reliance on the tamers is kind of crippling sometimes, kind of creates some bad draws, kind of creates some bad hands. And so over a 10-round tournament, that's where, like, you lose a lot of value. But that being said, that you just have it's one of those decks where, like, if you're able to get the engine going, it has it has more to bring than what Mirage does. It has evade, it has blocker, it has jamming through Numemon, it has security attack +1, so you don't need to be a level 6. You're able to bounce things on your opponent's turn because of the all turns effect on X antibody. It's got a lot of stuff. It's just a few things that are interesting here. Like, the tamer lineup is always something that's going to be interesting to talk about when it comes to Ulforce, because it's just the key thing about them. And you'll see it. We're seeing a Davis and Ken to unsuspend dual colors, gain 1 memory if we have we're using the start of main effect to play Vmons. This Vmon, we'll be able to play it. We'll be able to search top 3, get a tamer, get a Vmon. Sorry, Veedramon. And the only thing that it won't pick up, I mean, it's not going to be able to pick up a few things, but you're going to be able to pick up all your tamers and generically most of your line, at least the ones you want to be seeing every time. Level 4 situation is interesting. You're on 4 Magnamons, 4 Goldramons, so you owe most of your level 4s will be able to actually facilitate this nice tech of the Magnamon X himself. I would love to see, I'm sure he's got a video out there, and he talks about maybe how often this Magnamon X came up into the format, into a match. Sure, the Matt and Sora is still one of my favorite dual tamers out there. I think this tamer is slightly underrated. It's just a great way. It's like the old Sora Joe, but, like, everyone's drawing, right? Everyone's getting up to 8 cards. It's such a great way to just guarantee some memory. Very few decks are really putting their hand sizes low. I mean, I know Belphamont's out there. I know Leviamon, Anubis, both kind of linger, but they're just not prevalent, and the Matt and Sora just does well. And then if you unsuspend, you're able to bounce an extra level 3 just in case. I think it's just all relevant. I think it's all good. Congrats. I mean, once again, you probably inspired a whole wave of Ulforce coming into the future. So if we see more top, I'm going to say it's thanks to you. Maybe I'm being kind of little. And the other thing, the one last thing I would like to mention is there is some kind of unique interaction here. If you choose to keep the Vmon on board and you have from the Davis and Ken effect, you can Magnamon X, and they attack your security, the Magnamon triggers, you guarantee you have a Vmon on there, and then you get to Digivolve, do whatever shenanigans you want, maybe block, armor purge, the next attack, and then this Vmon comes back to your hand anyway, or the Magnamon comes back to your hand, and now you can use that as part of your stack. It's just interesting. It's just interesting stuff for sure. I can't knock it, right? Yeah. Again, congrats. Next, Blue Flare, another one of blue decks just are coming in full force, being just unblockable annoyances for both Numemon and Magna. And on top of that, Rapid too. The Rapid decks are probably the next thing people were at least looking out for. Is it one of the top 3 decks? I don't think we could say that anymore. I mean, Vaccine, we'll talk about Vaccine when we get there, but that's probably up there, and these blue decks do well against that, man. Now we're seeing out of 4 decks so far, this is our 4th deck we've talked about, and now we're seeing something I think a lot of people are afraid of or are thinking is like ruining the format or ruining the future of Digimon, is just the 4/4 Ukamon, and then 4 of just like whatever rookie you want to fill in, so you have 12 rookies. This idea that like some of these decks really don't care about what their rookies are. They just kind of throw in whatever, and have been, but now they have just like a good consistency, like good rookie to have generically, and it's just always generally good to use them, and they find you your tamers. And a lot of these, I mean, ironically, a lot of these decks that don't rely on the rookies as much do have tamers that they draw a good amount of value from. So yeah, we're probably just gonna see more, like these are the kind of decks we're gonna see Ukamon in, and I think that's okay as long as it's not like dominating the format, which Numemon is. So maybe that is a problem, I'll admit it. But yeah, notable include what has changed about Blue Flare after that rant. I am sorry. Greymon, I mean, this Greymon has always been just Blue Flare's true win condition. Just drop the jamming on Metal Gray, attack, 2 checks jamming, or you don't unsuspend, but you just suddenly have just these 2 checks coming in constantly with the facilitation of Uko, and whatever rookie comes out, you already did 3 checks on your 2nd turn. And then you're just kind of climbing for the rest of the game. The Vikemon Ace. I am glad we're seeing a deck run this card. I still think this card is the most busted card of the set. Going forward, I think this card has more staying power than Magnamon X, but I could be just huffing copium, man. But yeah, not seeing too much else. We're playing Lu, but the Lu makes sense because we're facilitating Ukamon, so we're just throwing in a couple more Lus. The prioritization of Kiriha and Nene over just simple Kiriha is interesting, and I feel like we should have shoved in some more tamers, but I guess with the BT16 Ukamon, we can have easier access finding them, and plus Blazing Memory Boost is always a great card to try to find our tamers in the deck, so it's not a big deal. I wonder if we're just going to see a rise of Blue Flare. Blue Flare can kind of be a little obnoxious of a deck just because they're able to turn 2, do 3 checks, and threaten lethal the next turn, and you're just like, bro, I'm not even a rookie, I'm not even a champion yet. Like, what? Like, so that little bit of high roll they can do is annoying, and in that time they find the 2nd Metal Gray that's going to stun everything and unsuspend, draw 2 cards, like not draw 2 cards, but I'm getting out of my gourd. But also seeing the Full Metal Blaze once again, so that's interesting that more blue decks are waking up to this card. I was back in Nats, I tried to use this card and it just quite wasn't good enough, but it's starting to become clear that it is good enough now. We're gonna go to the, I mean, Gratz. This was, I didn't even say the name. This was actually 3rd place West, because I do things a little weird. This is the 3rd place list. Gratz on 3rd place, and then we're gonna go all the way back down. Oh, that sounds mean. We're gonna go back down to I believe this is Carlos's 15th place yellow vaccine list, and that's what we're gonna call it for this video. Patamon, it's a mainstay of the deck. We're gonna see Pillowmon. It just can't play by effects. It's gonna be so relevant against the Imperial. It's gonna be so relevant against Numemon. Ukamon, it's a scourge of society. I get it. Cutemon can't reduce Digivolution cost is interesting. I wonder what decks we're trying to counter with that. It always escapes me. I know there's a little bit of shenanigans with the promo Vmon, but is anything actually beyond that reducing Digivolution costs? I mean, green decks are always doing that. It's just interesting. Floodgates for Floodgate's sake aren't bad when you don't care about your rookie lineup too much. We're going to play our level 5s, our Angewomon, Magnamon Aces, just mainstays of any vaccine list right now. Being able to control your own life and keep it high or keep it above 3 is really key. 8 Rapidmon level 4s because we need it to go into our Rapidmon X's. An interesting note here is actually instead of 4 Rapidmon X's, which I feel like the yellow decks kind of lean towards, we're seeing just full-on Magnamon X. And yeah, that's about it. We're seeing Magnamon X is one of the decks that can abuse Magnamon X and Rapidmon X to their fullest, and they do it. You can just Messenger of Hope this Digimon that's going to Digivolve first. That should have Digivolved for so much. But it'll only Digivolve on. It's a little weird because you're only Digivolving on these level 5s. Like it can't Digivolve. You don't have a normal Magnamon. So it's just a tad strange, but they clearly were. It's clearly consistent. So me calling it strange is just mean. And then yeah, Digimon Emperor, good card. We're seeing a lot of Ukomon, and you want to counter Ukomon, you play Digimon Emperor. It's kind of that simple. Heaven's Judgment, busted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors potential to us. I think we're just missing red, and then we have every color. We even have white. That's funny. That's a lot of potential colors you can have with Heaven's Judgment. So yeah, let's go to the next list. I think this is Hernandez, Mr. Hernandez. Yeah, another vaccine list. Instead, we're actually playing the Kunamon. We chose to abandon all the floodgates, play the Kunamon. Just gonna find our tamers, find our vaccine cards. Everything's a vaccine except some of our top end here, Mr. Death X. It's funny to me that Ruin Mode is still a vaccine. It just amuses me. I don't know why. Actually playing the Gold Veedramon, who is also a yellow vaccine armor card. So you just opting to have all your level 4s be armor cards to facilitate your Magnamons and your Rapidmons. Makes sense to me. Again, we're seeing this 2-4 split, so that may just be starting to be the standard we see. Ukomon, once again, the promo Patamon, interesting card, of course. Similar level 5s. It's still just interesting to me that we're seeing We're seeing these lower level 5 counts, but here we're actually playing the Awakening of the Golden Knight to help facilitate these armor cards going up into Magnamon X, right? I believe they can do that. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon with armor form in its traits into a card with Magnamon in its name. So yeah, why not, right? In its name, ignoring its Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. So you just get to go from your Rapidmons into your Magnamon X's. Or you can even take your Rapidmon X and go into Magnamon X, like, right? Like it can do that. Yeah, you just can do that. And then you have immunity to DP reduction. Let's see if the last list was running that. Yeah, they were running 2. So I'll take back my statement. Like, we have Awakening of the Golden Knight to help us facilitate just skipping into Magnamon X. So I failed to mention that. But yeah, and then the last interesting piece we'll talk about is Megalospark, BT11 card. When you would use this card, if you have a level tamer and yellow tamer in play, reduce the cost by 1. So most of the time we're probably playing this for 4. Main effect, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 8k. It's a 1-of, I believe. Yeah, it's just a 1-of in the deck. I guess it's just a neat security bomb that carries over. It's not always, it's pretty rare that like well, it's more common now, but it is an option card where the DP reduction lingers until the end of your opponent's turn. So it's probably the key thing they were using this for, to just, you know, ruin mode and just do ruin mode shenanigans. You're on Rapidmon shenanigans to begin with. I think even Gold Veedramon does some shenanigans. Yeah, it does. So there's just like an interesting like minus DP like logic to all of this, and I like it. I like it. Grats on. I believe her Mr. Hernandez got 14th. Oh, my zooms. Oh, I'm sorry, zooms. Can we go one bigger? Yeah, let's go one bigger. Teching in the Zubagon Punch. So who is this? Sorry, this is second place for Brennan. I hope it's right. Brennan teching in final Zubagon Punch, teching in Fire Rocket, and then once again just instead of having their level 5s just traditionally digivolve into Magnamon X, we're just relying on, once again, on Awakening of the Golden Knight to get our level 4s into Magnamon X. And again, all our level 4s are armor forms. So we are able to just, anytime we're at level 4, this card is relevant, and we have 4 of copies in the deck. And then not much more to say. We actually are opting to fit in a Pillamon while still keeping a Kudamon, so a nice in-between of the last 2 previous lists we were talking about. Fitting in the Ukamons. Emissary of Hope I haven't talked about, but it's such a good card. Obviously, everything's vaccine. You're setting up your security through all these cards that, like, it just makes sense. And the reliance on TK makes sense just because you always want, if you have a tamer out, you kind of always want to be able to heal off of Emissary of Hope, since Emissary of Hope is a lot of your, it's a lot of like your high role play, I want to say. And interesting here, I think, is the fact that we're actually on Nyaromons. This is the first, I think everyone else is on pure Tokomons with plus something, but we're on actually just straight up 4 Nyaromons. When attacking once per turn by trashing the top or bottom card of your security, gain 1 memory. So wow, actually this is a cool card. One of the weaknesses that people hope for when they're playing against Magnamon X is that moment where they have to attack you and they're not immune yet and they don't have a blinding ray to kind of mess with their own security, and they just kind of go in and hope. And here you just attack and almost guarantee you have it from the beginning, which is kind of gross. I kind of get it. This is just sick. I mean, props to you for playing this. Someone in Oceania might have had it, or maybe someone prior to you had it. We got the Fremon, and then just one of Nyaromon. So you also had the same idea, but you just didn't go as hard as Brennan did. Yeah, and then the fun text of Fire Rocket and Zubagon Punch are also just really good. Congrats, 2nd place. All right, so I believe starts the Numemon. All right, Numemon, 8 whole Numemons to talk about. We got 4 and 4 of the problem card. I'm still not convinced that the BT16 one is a problem. Just because Numemon is abusing the card doesn't mean that that card is the problem. Maybe it's everything around it. Maybe Numemon's a problem. Maybe the Magnamon X from RB01 is the problem. Maybe the Numemon X is the problem. Like, I just don't see why Ukamon is really the target. At least 16. I will always say that the promo is probably a nuisance and a problem. However, let's talk about the list. We got 4 Numemon. I didn't even say who this is. This is Enrique. Oh, I got Hannah Montana stuck in my head. Oh, his name's something else, but it's still funny. 4 I'm gone. 4-2 on the Satsuki Numemon split. We're seeing the Garurumon, and just standard stuff we've been seeing since BT15. Honestly, we're seeing 4 Magnamon, 2 Warus, 4 Magnamon X's. Valkyriemon Ace is probably the newest addition to the lineup, along with the Ukamon. And Valkyriemon Ace just being a second Ruin mode is so disgusting. Your opponent attacks, and then suddenly they're deleting 8Ks, your whole board is minus 5K, or they Ruin mode you, and it's even worse. Oh, it just doesn't, oh my god, this Valkyriemon Ace just added the most consistent top end for this deck, and like just kind of what they were, just kind of just pushed their game plan even further into Ruin mode. And it's just good. It's just good. Congrats on this is 13th place. I don't remember if I said that. But yeah, other than that, pretty normal. Playing Protoform X antibody X program is becoming more and more relevant for sure. And then Heaven's Judgment, still a great card. Digimon Emperor to counter all the rookie shenanigans, and Shumon. Red Bait, I wanted to talk about this one. This is the award out of all 8 Ukamon to top in the NA format. Probably the most unique list. And why is it the most unique list? And it's because of not the mat, it's the card on the left, playing Red Koromon, BT15, another card that in my eyes is on the suspected list for probably too strong. And then you ask yourselves, but he's got no red rookies. How is he playing Koromon? Well, Ukamon, number one. And number two, we got our black text Agumon. So this Agumon can Digivolve on any Koromon for 0 memory. And I just thought that was just cool. I found myself sitting here like, there's no red rookie. Why are we here? And then it dawned on me, it fell on me like a lead balloon. And it was just cool to see. I mean, normally red base tries to fit in like Muchomons and some of the red floodgates, but no, just Ukamon, just Agumon. Agumon's a great card. Purple base relies on the Gabumon, and so anything Koromon based can run Agumon, and I find that so amusing. Playing one of the Claw Garamons, interesting, makes sense. It's actually a way to put -1 security on their Magnamon X's, and then they can't try to get that free security check. But our Mr. Second Place had a nice answer for that. Other than that, we also see the tech of the Edamon. We talked about this in the Oceania results that I posted. I hate saying it like that. Like, I did talk about them, but did I really post them? Like, it's not, I don't know. I'm not all that, right? Like, let's keep me humble. Anyway, on play, when Digivolving into the end of your opponent's turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -3k DP and gains start of your main phase. This Digimon attacks, and you're still Numemon. You still have blockers. You still have aces to play, platinum Numemons to block it and make people's day completely worse because of the on-deletion effects that are going to go off. It's just sick. Venusmon, Shine Ruin mode. Some of them more the same. Playing some Lus, not playing any Satskis is kind of an interesting take as well. Digimon Emperor and then Madashita kind of rounds out our tamer lineup, and just no security bombs I find interesting as well. But just after that normal Numemons, no Warumonzemons. I feel like when we see this Edamon, most people are cutting the Warumonzemons from the list or trying to find room somewhere else, but that's kind of what we've been seeing. Let's go. All right, I think this is, oh my god, I got so excited that it was red. Matt Palase, Matt. So 10th place, Matt, with red Koromon based Numemon. And this should be, I'm sorry for the new setup, by the way. This is Mitchell, another black base, black based best base. Yeah, actually just not a lot to talk about here. A lot of similar cards, just like slight difference in playing the two different floodgates, Chukuri and Shumon, and I don't think everyone's was playing Chukuri, so you're the first list we're talking about it for. Playing the Claw Garamon, yeah, it's a good card. It's a good card unless Magnamon has a way around it, or maybe you just are able to stall out with this card more in this format than in BT15, and it just makes sense, and you did well with it. Yeah, and then just opting no Edamons, just playing Warumonzemons, and there's just like kind of like the normal thing, plus Valkyriemon in place. You can say Valkyriemon just kind of took the place of a Zulongmon, and then just kind of forced everyone to at least have a ruin mode to 2 ruin modes. It makes sense to me. I don't want this to be another 55-minute video, so congrats on you got Mitchell, you got 8th. No, this is Chirstian, and then this is there's so many new ones, man. This is, we talked about one, we talked about, no, that was Mitchell. This is Chirstian. This one's Chirstian. Oh my god, I'm a nerd. What do we do? Chimeramon's back. Look at that. Oh, instead of Warumonzemon, we put it, or Edamon, we put in Chimeramon. And then, yeah, we're able to have 1, 2, 3. We can't get to 4 colors, unfortunately. Oh, that's a bummer. But Chimeramon's still a great card. Now I'm playing the Satskis that I often talk about how the Chimeramon kind of goes really well with. One of your Numemons can go in with jamming, guarantee their safety. Also playing the rise of Claw Garamon. Claw Garamon stonks are rising. Holy moly, that's cool. I like that a lot. I actually didn't expect that because I talked about it in BT15, but it clearly was just such a niche card that most people didn't care about. Still black base, by the way. So I believe this is Chirstian. I might have lost the bit at this point. I know this is the 4th Numemon, so this is 7th place Chirstian, pretty sure. So then let's see if there's anything else I can point out. No, we just full on 4 Chumons, no Chikurimons, and then after that it's kind of similar. So this is Chirstian, meaning this is Karl. Ah, Karl. I'm sorry. Now that I have to say the names, I'm probably gonna do some. Oh, purple base, Karl. Look at you. Or is this Tyler? It's hard to imagine that Tyler didn't play purple base, but I think this is Karl, and if it's not, I'm sorry, Tyler. 2-4 ratio on the Satsuki. Maybe I should make my mouse bigger for these two. 2-4 ratio on the Numemon to Satsuki's is interesting. Playing the Edamons, again, calling the Warumonzemons, playing purple base, so that means we're going to see the Gabumon, we're going to see the purple version of whatever floodgate we want to run. Actually, on Pillowmon, just a hard play and against Imperial is probably really relevant, especially trying to escape the clutches of not only the Numemon mirror, but the Imperial partition and the plague that is that to society as well. And then actually playing that, like I said, wasn't unique to the red base guy. Venus, 2 Venus, I don't know why I mentioned it. Playing the Death X is actually interesting, and then 2 Protoforms is kind of a standout, and no security bombs as well. 4-4 the Ukamon, because that card's a problem. And then Tyler gets his first, I hope I'm not wrong about, I might have miscounted, but at this point it's a bit, so if I said it wrong, I said it wrong and people are just gonna make fun of me. It's hard to think that Tyler went to black base, but black base best base, so of course he went to black base. Playing Edamon instead of the Warumonzes makes sense. We're seeing a lot of people transition to this. And then after that, just 3 Chumons, 2 Chikuri, not seeing the Claw Garamon at all, playing the 3-2 split of the Digipolice package. 2 lose, 1 Matt. Again, Matt keeps coming up apparently. A lot more than it did in BT15. So we're seeing the rise of this starter deck Matashita. Death Xmon, Ruin Mode, and Valkyriemon 3. Heavy on the Valkyriemon X's. What we're gonna say is Tyler's list. So 3 Valkyriemon aces. I mean, I can't hate it. It's a good card, and this is a 5th place Numemon. So 2 more. Another black base, best base. You guys will forgive me if I start just forgetting, because it's 8 of them. It's 8 of them. Dang it. 3 Chumon, 2 Chikuri stands out. No Claw Garamon. 3-2 split on the Digipolice. Only 3 Valkyriemon actually playing the Warumonzemons. This is Austin's 4th place Numemon list, and yeah, nothing really stands out beyond something we haven't talked about. No Waru, no Edamon, playing the Warumonzemon. No Claw Garamon, no actually playing Waru, not playing Matt, which is something we've been seeing. No security bombs in Heaven's Judgment. Yeah, and then 4-4 Uko's a good card and everyone wants to use it. I get it. Let's hope there's one more. Did I mess this up? This was Austin, so we still got one more. This is Hong Zero, Mr. DCGO online simulator, Kingpin himself, master and creator, along with his, I think the channel is actually, there's Hong and then there's Zero. I think that's 2 different people, and I think they both work on it. And everyone says maybe I'm crazy. Maybe my Hong Zero lore is just wrong. Grats on top. Grats on winning. I know there was some kind of shenanigans with the rounds, but again, not talking about here, but I'm glad you were able to not only go undefeated in round 8, but maintain your win at the end of the day. Very impressive. Very happy for you. However, there is not a lot to talk about in terms after 7 Numemon lists. There's not a lot to talk about here. 3-2 split on the Digipolice cards. No Warumonze playing the Edamon. 3-2 on the Chumon to Chikuris. and then just playing a smorgasbord. We're playing the black-yellow Numemon, or yellow-black Numemon, and 4/4 Ukamon, and then 3, again, a little, like Tyler, a little heavy on the Valkyremon Aces, and then just 1 Ruin Mode, 1 Death X, just keeping your level 7's toolbox kit as always, only 1 Venusmon, and other people, I'm sure Tyler, I'm sure Hong have their own video on these lists. If anyone else was a DigiTuber, I hate saying that. If anyone else is a YouTuber and posts their list and talks about their list online, feel free to say in the comments. I'm not a stickler for that kind of stuff. Just say it in the comments. Maybe not link it because that's what gets you in trouble with YouTube, not me. But yeah, just say in the comments, hey, go check out my video, please. I'm not gonna take it anyway. This is for fun. This is for you guys. Congrats Hong on his name is Alexander, by the way. I thought that was funny. Eggmanevents.com, our source for everything BT16 going forward. Me and Eggman try to pull this off. Digipanda, the 3 of us, 3 musketeers of just tournament reporting, and along with other people that help us. Digiburst from the Oceania side, Varney from Digital Gate Studio. No, that's no. Oh. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. Varney, I am sorry. Is it Digital Gate Studio? Is it? There's one more. Oh no, it's not Digital Gate Studio. It's DigiGuard United. DigiGuard United. Just plugging people and failing. Like, share, subscribe. See you guys next time. 8 Numemon lists is a lot. We'll see if it's a problem going forward.